lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ should shine upon their souls. So, if your enemy is revealed to you, then you can take strategies of escape or to confront him. Number 2, how does discernment impart dominion? By helping you to make righteous decisions. And you know, the Bible says righteousness exalts a nation. Sin is a reproach. So for anybody to be exalted to the cadre of dominion, he must consistently make righteous decisions. But you cannot always make righteous decisions if you are not discerning. Because when you are blinded, you can make decisions out of sentiments and only discover later that you punished an innocent person or you erred in your conversation. Isaiah 11 verse 3 to 4. It says, he will not judge with his eyes, nor decide by what his ears hear. It said, but with righteousness he will judge the needy. So people who you see making right decisions all the time, at their root is discernment. Even Jesus, when the 7 spirits of God mounted him, the one that helped him to maximize it was what? Righteousness. Because if you read that scripture from verse 11, it said a root is plucked out of Jesse. It said, and upon him, what? Is the spirit of the Lord, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of counsel, the spirit of judgment. Verse 2, the spirit of knowledge and the spirit of the fear of the Lord. And verse 3, he shall not judge after his eyes, nor his hearing of the ears. So it was discernment that helped him to maximize the 7 spirits of God. And that's what brought him into full dominion. So you can't make righteous decisions or right decisions all the time without discernment. Number 3, how does discernment impart dominion? It helps you to make strategic decisions. Strategic. Because see, most times the junctions of life bring you to a point where you have more than one decisions to make. All of them are good, but only one is the best. It will take discernment for you, not just to make the right decision, but the best decision. Now, if you read Romans 12, verse 2, you see that there is the good will of God, there is the acceptable will of God, and there is the perfect will of God. So you can take the good will of God and still succeed to a level, but that may not be the perfect will. So discernment helps you or gives you ability to make the most strategic decisions of your life. And that's why it ends up bringing you to the place of dominion. I read for you already from Proverbs 3 verse 6. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And when he directs your path, he directs your path to the best place. I know the thoughts that I think towards you. They are thoughts of good and not of evil, to give you a hope and a future. Other translation calls it an expected end. So for you to arrive at God's end for your destiny, you will need discernment. Most of us, we are celebrating God for where we are. If God opens our eyes to where we should have been, we'll be shocked. We'll start weeping. That's why you mustn't be quick to be happy. Always seek God to lead you in the path that you should go. Do you know that if Abraham continued with Terah, he still would have been a great man? Because when Abraham left his father, he left with wealth. The guy was not poor, but he would never have become the father of many nations. His posterity would not have lasted till today. So we are talking attaining the best for your life, that which God himself planned. It will take discernment. Number 4, it protects you from deception. That's why it confers dominion. If you are deceived too many times in life, you will not have enough energy, motivation, or resources to make impact. Ask those who have suffered deception before. One of the most devastating things that can happen to a man is to fall prey to deception. And the world where we live now, it is difficult to find people doing what they are doing genuinely, including ministry. That's how treacherous our generation is. Somebody preaches for 1 month. He is preparing you to empty your salary on the last week. So he uses 3 weeks to prepare your mind, so that when the moment the salary comes, you feel guilty to have to keep it for any reason. And the way he's talking, he's quoting scripture, you will want to die. He doesn't have your best interest. Nowadays that people do all these businesses online, you will see people follow emails online. Emails. When it reaches the point of transfer, they will clone your conversation and read. You have not met. I've met people who ran to me for prayers. They were deceived. Interacting, business. Last moment of transfer, 1 week later, they clone and channel conversation. Because they were building up all the interactions. And at the last minute, you don't know the world we are living in. There was one who promised somebody from, I don't know, is he Indonesia now? Where's Barrister Rumen? Because I handed the case to him, that he will marry him, marry her. Meanwhile, Oga has a wife with a child. You don't know this world. You will be heartbroken. And the energy to leave your Kairos season won't be there. Maybe you recover after 2 years. They say this window that just closed comes once in 14 years. So you have to wait for another 14 years for that Kairos season to come. How can you make impact? So discernment shields you from deception. He said in 2 Corinthians 11 verse 3 and 4, which is one of the most graphic scripture that dealt with deception. He said, but I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve, through his what? Subtlety. So your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity of the gospel. So those who deceive, they are masters of beguiling. The word is nakash in the Hebrew. It's like the hiss of a serpent. When they show up, when they look into your eyes, you get confused. Have you heard of money? All these people that do money doubling, they look at you and say, how are you, sir? The moment you see them in the eyes, nakash. And then they tell you, we have a chemical, red mercury. We can double your money to any amount. One came to me some years back. Discernment is an asset. They called. Are you Mike? I say, yes, I'm Mike. He said, how you do? It's been a while. I said, yeah. Are you still in Makodi? I said, yes, I'm here. He said, how about your friend, Owina? I called him. Are they still in Kano? I said, yes. He said, there is a transformer deal we are doing. As I'm talking to you now, we have paid over 50 million. And then you hear 15 million. He said, in fact, the contractor is coming now with chopper. They are supposed to land at the Air Force base. A car will pick them to move it. But they are insisting that they don't trust me. I should bring one sample. How much is sample? 560,000. That if they just see the sample, they will credit that they are not greedy. They know me. They are going to give me 30%. Mathematics began. What is 30% of 50 million? I was already calculating around 4-point-something million. They said, no, all they need is just to... I said, but you can remove the sample. Is it not your property? They said, no. You can't open any pack. So what they want to do now is to get one extra pack from what they've supplied already, and that's what they've charged. I called my sister in immigration, called this one. Where do we get money? Where do we get money? Pastor Sonny went to the mother shop. How much do we have here? We started gathering money from everywhere. 550,000 must come out. When I told my sister, she said, chopper? Is it so easy to access chopper at such a time? She now called her colleague to find out because she's in the force. When she said transformer, the colleague said, are they bringing chopper? Has chopper come? That's when they started laughing. Say they are liars.